As a kid, I would always have these at my great-grandmother's house in the cookie jar. So you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You'll see that I struggled here a little bit, but that's okay. Some fun facts about cookies. Did you know Americans consume over 2 billion cookies a year? That's about 300 cookies per person. So you're just going to go ahead and crack your 2 eggs right into the bowl. An eggshell can have as many as 17,000 pores on the eggshell. That's kind of cool in my opinion. So we're just going to set those aside. And we're going to take our bananas, we're going to put them on the plate, peel them. Fun facts about bananas. Banana is a berry, not a fruit. Don't ask me about that one because I have no idea. But you're just going to go ahead and mash up your bananas. Continue to mash them until you get like a baby food consistency. It takes a minute to do that. But after you're done mashing, you're going to go ahead and add them into your bowl with your eggs. And I'm thankful that I was able to do this in the comfort of my own home, so it reminds me of how I used to make them with my great-grandmother. Now we're just going to add in 2/3 cup of shortening into our cookies. Our mashed bananas is about 1 cup. And after we're done adding the shortening in, we're going to mix it up. Another little fun fact of the day, a hen turns her eggs nearly 50 times a day to keep the yolk from sticking to the side of the eggshell. That's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. An average hen lays about 300 to 325 eggs per year. That's pretty cool. Now we're gonna add in our sugar. Now we're going to add in a splash of vanilla. And in the original recipe, this next step isn't included, but my parents and my grandparents have figured out that if you add a splash of almond milk to your cookies, they taste so much better. But sometimes I also do like to not add the splash of almond milk due to this being my great-grandmother's recipe. So I try to keep everything the same in her tradition recipe. So after we've done mixing, we're going to add in 2 cups and 1/4 cup of flour. As you'll see here, I add in 1 cup right here. And you want to make sure that they are flat. So what I do is I press it on the side of the container because we have a flour container. So I press it on the side and I try to make it nice and flat. There's our 1/4 of a cup. Because if you have it over rounded, it's not going to look right. It's going to be too thick. So we're going to mix up the flour in it. And we're adding in 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And now we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Like I said, I try to keep this as original as possible, where it is my great-grandmother's recipe. We used to make these all the time. She would always have them sitting in the cookie jar in the kitchen for when we come over, and her house always smelled like these cookies, and they've become the family favorites. We add in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and we mix it all up until we get a nice doughy consistency like you see here. And she says add half a bag of chocolate chips, but where I did mini chocolate chips, I only added about 1/4 of a bag, because I had about half a bag left in there from the last time I made the cookies. But mix in your chocolate chips. Some fun facts about chocolate chips. They were invented in 1937, by Ruth Graves Wokefield of the Toll House Inn. Kind of interesting. So you take your cookies, you put them out on the baking sheet, and after you put them on the baking sheet, before you pop them in the oven, you sprinkle just a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on top of the cookies, just to kind of add that little bit of sweetness, final touch, as my grandmother would like to call it. Unfortunately, my great-grandmother is no longer with us, so we try to make these cookies as often as we can in her memory. So now we're just going to pop them into the oven at 350 degrees. And we're gonna set our timer for 11 minutes. She says between 10 and 12 minutes, but my oven is a little more high temp than some, so 11 minutes is just right. So we're gonna put on our oven glove, we're gonna pull them out, and there we have it. That is how you make my great-grandmother's banana chocolate chip cookies. Thank you.